Hello everyone and welcome to another video. My name is Jerry and I'm hailing you from the Antari shipyard. And today we're going to be taking a look at all of the Lost in the Delta Quadrant card previews that were previewed on Friday, February 16th. If you guys are unaware, WizKids is going to be releasing 3 new faction packs. This is reveal number 3 for us. The on the street date is going to be for February 21st. You can go over to the WizKids store and pre-order those packs now to get shipped, or you can go to your local game stores and see if they will pre-order them for you from a distributor. There's a lot to talk about in this. I'm pretty excited for this pack for a couple of different cards, a couple of different reasons. So the way this is going to work is we're going to look at each particular card first. We're going to go through it. We're going to read it all together, go through it. I'm not going to dive too deep into it. I want to save that for a different type of episode. So we'll just take a quick look at it, give our first impressions on it, and then move on. Secondly, then we'll take a look at the campaign that is coming in Lost in the Delta Quadrant and the Adversaries, because we've got more information on that. Once that is all done, we will take a look and do some speculation. So we'll look at the token sheets, see what we can kind of deduce and figure out. Now, not all of the cards were spoiled, so there are still some blank spots, but I think we can do a pretty good job of guessing what's in there. If you don't want to be part of the speculation part, I'm going to put chapters in the bar below, so you can kind of skip forward and skip ahead to which cards interest you. With having said all that, let's go ahead and let's get over. First, I'm going to show off my spreadsheet that I'm keeping my notes on. So we've got 59 cards in this pack here. This is just what we know already. Of course, what I've got in green is going to be what's been hinted at. So those are things that he talked about in the videos during the reveals. He didn't show them fully, but he did talk about them. And then, of course, when we get to the speculation stage, we'll start marking that stuff in yellow. But this is what I've got so far. This is what's been revealed. So let's go ahead and let's dive into the first card, shall we? So, first card in the pack that got revealed is the U.S.S. Voyager. It is card number 3. That is because card number 1 was already spoiled for us on the WizKids preview. That is also a U.S.S. Voyager. And you know what? I might be able to open that up. Yes. Let's do this. Let's start there. So let's go ahead and let's edit the image. That way we can zoom in on it. Alright. So card 1 of 59. U.S.S. and Voyager. It is a 4245. It is a tech weapon triple crew, 25 points. That's a pretty big discount. I believe the old one was about 30 points, I want to say. Intrepid class. Action. Increase this ship's agility value by 1 this game round and repair 1 hull or shield on the ship. If there are no friendly ships within range 1 to 2, this is a free action instead. So we've got a Voyager that is healing itself, which kind of reminds me of this, the gag of, oh man, Voyager's super destroyed, super damaged, and in the next episode, it's completely fine. This ability really, really reminds me of that, and I kind of like that. Definitely an homage to Voyager, and I'm not gonna lie, I've seen all the cards for this that have been spoiled, and this pack is very much an homage to Voyager. The person who designed this really, really loves Voyager, and I'll be remiss if I forget this, but huge shout out to Steven Van Deventer for doing all of the spoilers this week, and then going above and beyond and providing the images for us afterwards, so that we can read the cards more clearly. Huge shout out to him. I just want to thank him for everything that he does for the community. He's definitely going to be one of the pillars and probably one of the reasons why WizKids is still pushing this game. So huge shout out to him. Huge thank you. So that is card number 1, USS Voyager, Intrepid Class. I like it. Let's go ahead. Let's move on over to card number 3. So card number 2, I believe, is going to be the generic Intrepid Class. Um, I did get clarification, and we'll talk about this after the next card about what I thought was going on, but I got clarified. So I believe on the backside of card 1, card number 2 is going to be your generic Intrepid Class. Then we got card 3, USS Voyager, Intrepid Class, 4245. Declare target step. Place an auxiliary power token beside the ship. You may attack a target with this ship's primary weapon value outside of your forward firing arc at range 1 to 2. So this text is very much the old Voyager, but it is updated and cleaned up, and I really, really appreciate that because the old Voyager was not bad at all. It had a good ability. It was just super expensive coming in at 30 points. This one's got a 4-point reduction down to 26. Same slot layout as the previous Voyager. Of course, your standard Fed bar. Um, yeah, I'm glad that this ship is making a reappearance and that it's been updated for today's game. So, moving on to card 4, we've got another USS Voyager. And you'll notice that this one is a dual faction Voyager. This is Federation Mirror, Intrepid Class, of course, 4245. So same stat bar, same slot layout, 25 points. So coming in at a point cheaper, 5-point reduction from the old named. Now we've got this new kind of step called fleet construction. So this is when you're putting all of your cards together while you're still on the table. You may reduce the cost of any numbers of your upgrades equipped to this ship by -2 SP. For each upgrade reduced in this way, suffer 1 damage at the start of the game to either your shields or your hull, player's choice. So, I'm going to be very, very honest with this. I'm excited for this ship, not because it's going to be huge or anything. It's not going to be like super competitive, I don't believe. And keep in mind, these packs were not designed to be competitive. These packs were designed to be contained and to play with the adversaries and the campaigns, which we'll get to. But this is Year of Hell Voyager, one of my favorite two-parters from USS from Star Trek Voyager, Year of Hell. So the ability is very thematic to the plight that the Voyager went through trying to cross Krynom space. I like that it's calling out specifically fleet construction now. There are cards that have done this in the past, but it didn't really do a very good job of calling that step out in particular. So now with these new kind of formatting of the card wordings, calling out fleet construction lets you know that, hey, you're going to be doing this when you're building your fleet, not when you're at the table playing, but when you are building your fleet. Now, why would somebody take this ship? Why would you do that? Well, this is a ship that can become a clown car pretty quickly. You can reduce a lot of upgrades to 0 cost, and you can add a bunch. And then on top of that, so you've got 9 points of health here, right? So you've got, ideally, you could fill every single slot of yours -2. So you can reduce your shields to 0 or your hull to 1 and shields down to 3. There's a lot of options you can do here, but we've got a lot of brand new repair cards in the game. So there is a method to the madness here where you can load this ship down clown car style and repair your hull to fix that. Now, is that ideal when you're trying to play against somebody that's coming at you to joust and fight? Probably not. But there is a method to the madness there, and I'm excited to see what players are going to do with this ship. I'm just overly excited for this. Year of Hell is one of my favorites. So, you might be saying, Jerry, that's 3 named Voyagers we're getting in this. And that is correct. That has been clarified I thought that there were going to be 4 named Voyagers, so I thought they were keeping one a secret. But no, we're getting 3 Voyagers, and U.S.S. Intrepid is in this as well. So there are 4 named Intrepid classes, and then two generics. So that kind of balances that out. Um, excuse me. So the way they kind of said it, I believe Steven said it in the video, was they viewed this as kind of the start Voyager, the Year of Hell Voyager, the end Voyager, and then you got the Borgager, which kind of could be the end or could be the middle. But it's just meant to represent Voyager on its journey through the Delta Quadrant. So again, playing that awesome homage to Star Trek Voyager. So card 7. So we don't see card 5 or 6, which I believe is the U.S.S. Intrepid with the generic on its side or on its backside. So now we get to the U.S.S. Equinox. Zoom in here. So Nova class 2233 tech weapon crew coming in at 13 points for the Equinox. That's a pretty significant reduction, I believe. Yeah, that's a 7-point reduction from the old Equinox. So that's awesome to see. But not only that, they said, hey, the Nova class needs more help than just a point reduction. So they gave the Equinox and the Nova class this top ability. This ship does not skip its perform action step when overlapping an obstacle. This ship is going to be very useful for those new players who are trying to get their feet wet, trying to learn how to fly a ship. This is an awesome ship for that specific reason. Reveal dial step. Target another ship within range 1. You may discard a crew upgrade equipped to the target ship. If you do, increase the maneuver of this ship's revealed maneuver by 2, and this ship suffers 1 damage. Again, there's plenty of repair for hull and shields in the game now. You get to discard a crew on their ships, throw a monkey wrench into their plan, or pull that linchpin, and then you get to move. So I really like this ability. It just shows that the Equinox is a little bit maneuverable. Again, playing homage to the episode. I really like that. So, moving to card number 8, we're looking at the Nova class, just the generic. And again, like I said, they gave the Nova class an ability to make it so it doesn't lose its perform action step. It's going to be one of those driver's ed ships, if you will. Okay. So now we go to card 8 to card 11. So we are missing 2 cards in there. Again, I believe that's going to be the U.S.S. Nova and the generic on the backside. So that gives us to the next card, which is number 11, the U.S.S. Raven. It is an Aerie Class, 1223 tech weapon, cost of 10, which I think again is a pretty good discount. The U.S.S. Raven was 16, so we're talking about a 6-point discount here, and it was much needed because the Aerie really wasn't. We didn't get much information from the Aerie in the show. We know that the Hansens were on it. We know it crashed. I think the only other Aerie that I've seen on screen has been in Lower Decks, and even that one wasn't named, and that one was crashed. So. We got 1, 2, 2, 3, scan, evade. So not your typical Federation action bar here, but it is a science vessel, so it makes sense that it's going to scan and try and stay out of and do more evades. So combat phase. Target an opposing ship within range 1. The target ship cannot attack this game round. If the target ship is the only opposing ship in play, then it rolls -3 attack dice against this ship. Give me 1 second here. There we go. Okay. Let me reset. Combat phase. Target an opposing ship within range 1. The target ship cannot attack this ship this game round. If the target ship is the only opposing ship in play, then it rolls -3 attack dice against this ship. this game round instead. Okay, so pretty much you can trail your enemy or your opponent and say, "Hey, you can't attack me this game round." But if I'm the only ship that's left, then you can attack me, but it's going to be at reduced cost. Interesting ability, interesting concept behind it. Again, one of those ones that I need to play with. I do believe he said during the video that in the campaign, you could play as the Voyager, Equinox. You can play as any Federation ship really. But if you wanted extreme hard mode, the Raven was your ship. Mainly because of the reasons of its stat bar. So that's kind of cool. Let's move over to card number 12, which is your generic Aerie Class, coming in at 7 points. Let's see what the reduction was. So the Aerie was 14 points, so we got a 7-point reduction here. Wow. I definitely needed it. There's not really too much more to say about the generic here. So we're moving from card number 12 to card 13, which is the Delta Flyer, and it is a Delta Flyer class. Notice there is no shuttlecraft wording here anymore. That is because they've gone back and kind of retroactively reclassified the Delta Flyer classes to. They added a new class in the game called an auxiliary ship. Now, we don't have too much information on exactly what that means or what the rules are behind it. We'll get more of that in the campaign when it comes out and is in our hands. But Delta Flyer classes are no longer shuttlecraft. They are auxiliary craft, which is nice to see because it was a little bit bigger, quite a lot bigger than just your typical shuttlecraft. We got 3223, evade target lock scan, tech weapon crew coming in at 12 points. Again, the reduction here, the Delta Flyer, the named Delta Flyer shuttlecraft was 20 points. The Delta Flyer 2 was 20 points. So we got an 8-point discount here. Again, these discounts are deep, and I am loving it. Hopefully this will make a lot more of these ships a little bit playable. When attacking with your primary weapon, you may fire out of your rear arc at -1 attack die. So you can take a pot shot at 2, but it's your primary weapon, so you put Type 8s, you put upgradeds on this. You can put some teeth on this. Kind of reminds me of the NX-01 class, except this one's got shields. So yeah, I really like this. The Delta Flyer could be very interesting to try and play on the board now that it's not a shuttlecraft and you don't have to do all the docking rules. And I think making it an auxiliary craft kind of, for me, at least shored up the rules. That's typically why I stayed away from them. I'm not a big fan of shuttlecrafts or the shuttlecraft rules. I don't typically know them. I'm not a shuttlecraft stan. So moving the Delta Flyer away from that makes it more playable for myself. So moving to card 14, we've got the Delta Flyer class generic coming in at 11 points. Man, these reductions are crazy. That is, again, a 7-point reduction from the generic, the old generic. Just going to be a good chassis to use. So we go from 14 to card 17. So there's a couple of cards in there that we didn't get to see. We'll work on that in the speculation phase. But we got our first captain, Rudolph Ransom. Skill 5, elite talent slot, cost of 3. Looks like he adds 1 crew slot to the ship's upgrade bar. He didn't originally do that at all. When defending, if there's an obstacle within range 1, place an aux power token besides the attacking ship. If this card is equipped to a Nova class ship, the attacking ship also rolls -1 attack dice. So, awesome. This is kind of Rudolph Ransom, that story that was told by Janeway of him where he ducked into a gas giant to evade an enemy ship. So it kind of reminds me of that. I really like this. Will he be better than the old Rudolph Ransom? I don't know. I think this one's got its own merits, though. I think it'll stand on its own 2 legs. Adding a slot to the bar is always a good thing. So let's go ahead and we'll move on from 17 to 18. So now we've got Magnus Hansen. This is the Federation version, so not independent. Um, he has to be equipped to a ship with a hull of 3 or less, a skill 2, cost of 1. Planning phase. Target an opposing ship within range 1. This ship activates as though it has a captain skill number equal to the target ship's captain skill plus 1 until the end of the activation phase. If the target ship is Borg or has a Borg captain equipped to it, place 1 time token on an upgrade equipped to that ship. So there is a lot to kind of go over here with Magnus Hansen. So I want to break down the Borg side of this first. That's really cool. It reminds me of that episode in which Magnus Hansen was in, where they would take a drone from its alcove, beam it over to the Raven to study it. So it's almost like they're putting a time token on an upgrade or a crew equipped to that Borg ship to take it back to the Raven to study it. Now, that first part of the text, if I'm reading it correctly, that first part is going to be nice. So the ship activates as though it has a captain skill number equal to the target ship's captain skill plus 1 until the end of the activation phase. So it's not going to do us much help in the combat phase. So it's going to be all activation phase stuff. But imagine this scenario where you've got Gen Con out on the board, and you've got an admiral attached, so he's copying, let's say the highest captain skill on the board is 10, and then Gen Con copies the 10 and then adds 2 plus 2, so Gen Con's a 12. Now Magnus Hansen comes in, you target Gen Con, it doesn't say printed captain skill, it says equal to the target ship's captain skill plus 1. So if Con is at 12, Magnus Hansen will copy that 12 and then add 1 to be 13, if I'm understanding this right. Again, it's not going to help you in the combat phase because now he's coming back down to a skill 2, but it could help you in the activation phase if you don't want to move first. So Magnus Hansen's got some potential here. I think it's going to take a little bit of deep diving into him to really pull this card apart. But first impression is kind of cool. I'll take it. So we move from 18 to 21. This is Tom Paris, the captain. Again, has to be equipped to a ship with a hull of 3 or less. He's got his nice little interstellar rally uniform on here. Skill 4, cost of 3, reveal dial step. You may disregard your revealed maneuver and either perform a 1 impulse roll maneuver or a 5 straight red maneuver. In addition, if equipped to the Delta Flyer, place an evade token besides this ship. So, playing up his pilot side, definitely being like, whoa, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to go ahead and do this. We're going to roll and get out of dodge. I really like it. It's very thematic to what Tom Paris is and who he is. There's not really much more to say. He's definitely going to go on your smaller hulled ships. Imagine a Miranda class doing a impulse roll or 5 straight. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool to see. So we go from 21 to 27. We got a huge gap, but this is a Discord reveal. This is a pretty spicy one too. I really like this card. This is your command hologram, the Doctor. Skill 8, comes with an elite talent slot, 6 points. Pretty expensive, but well worth it. Fleet construction. So again, calling out that step where we're building our fleets, not necessarily playing. Place 2 Federation captains with a total cost of 6 SP that are not already in your fleet face up under this card. This captain has all text and restrictions from each of the captains placed under it. Okay, so again, this is another captain it doesn't have a lot of text, but it's got a lot to digest. It's going to require a deeper dive, but on the surface, pretty much what you're doing is you're going to place 2 Federation captains under the Doctor. They have to equal the total cost of these two cards have to equal 6. So you could do two cost 3 captains that are Federation, or you could do a cost 4, a cost 2, a 5 cost, a 1 cost. I haven't gone through all of the combinations, but the other restriction is those captains cannot be in your fleet. Now, the one thing I know that you cannot do is you cannot place one 6-point captain under the Doctor. It has to be 2 captains that equal the total of 6. So you can't do a 6-point captain and then a 0-point generic, which was interesting. That question was actually raised to Steven, and Steven said the design intent behind this card was not to do that because generics are not supposed to be utilized in that fashion. So I'm sure that that's probably going to come down as a ruling for the Doctor only, that you cannot use a generic like that. But there's nothing super official saying that yet. Now, you take those 2 captains, and the text that's on those captains moves over to the Doctor. So the Doctor effectively uses whatever abilities that those 2 captains have. Now, since this is in the fleet construction step, this is happening when you're building your fleet. If you put, say, the Rudolph Ransom that we just looked at, that adds a crew slot to your upgrade bar, the Doctor's going to do that for you now. So the Doctor will add that slot because it's a part of his text now. So there's going to be a lot of good, interesting combinations with this. I'm very, very, very looking forward to getting my hands on this and playing with it. I'm excited. This is one of the reveals that happened on Discord. It didn't happen on Facebook. It got posted there afterwards. So if you're interested in getting a link to our Discord, we do have one of the largest attack wing Discords out there. It's called the Fremont Reformation. The link to join the Discord will be in the description box below. Come on in, say hello. We talk about attack wing a lot. We do set up some events through Tabletop Simulator that we play with other people from around the world. We're hoping to kind of lower the barrier of entry into those to allow some new people to get into some events and do some cool things. So, really, if you are looking for someone to play Attack Wing with and you just don't have a local scene and you don't mind playing on the computer with somebody, Tabletop Simulator, Fremont Reformation, we're the place you want to be. Okay, so the Doctor was card number 27. We're going to move over to card 29, which is going to be Maxwell Burke. So crew, he's from the first officer of the Equinox. Action. Discard this card and target an opposing ship within range 1. Steal either 1 Federation tech or 1 Federation crew upgrade equipped to the target ship and equip it to this ship, ignoring this ship's restrictions. So, very reminiscent of the Equinox episode where Burke was trying to steal, I think it was a shield generator out of engineering, and he ended up taking the shield generator and 7 of 9. So, very reminiscent to that. It's a discard. I'm okay with that. And it's interesting to see a Federation targeting another Federation to steal tech. With the most recent packs, a lot of people have been complaining that the Federation are getting too much stuff, and you're not wrong, but the Federation are the hero faction. That's the faction we know the most about. I'm sure it would change if we had a Klingon show or a show that focused on another faction, but we don't. So, just having all of that stuff come out from Federation lends to Maxwell Burke being more useful in your fleet, because it's more likely that an enemy might bring a Federation tech or crew. Okay, so moving on from 29 to 31, we got Noah Lessing. So again, there's a little bit of a skip in there. But you got Noah Lessing. This is one of the crewmen from the Equinox. Planning phase. Spend one of this ship's shield tokens and choose one of the following. Remove an Ox Power token from beside the ship. If equipped to a Nova class, also place a scan token beside this ship. Target an opposing ship within range. Target opposing ship within range cannot perform the scan action or place scan action tokens besides their ship this game round. Cost of 3. So cool. You're getting rid of your shield tokens to do things. Again, there's a lot of cards in here that get you those shield tokens back. So spending them to do things with no LSing is interesting. It's not an action. It's during the planning phase. So at the top of the planning phase, you're going to spend your shield token to do something. That bottom text, though, target an opposing ship within range that cannot perform a scan action or play scan tokens. I think that second part was very, very needed because there are a lot of ships or a lot of cards in the game now that will place those tokens without having the action. So I really like that they included that second part in there. So moving from 31 to 32, we've got Thompson, who I believe is just a crewman on the Equinox. Whenever a scan token is placed besides the ship, place 2 time tokens on this card. Place an evade token by this ship. So, again, very simple, very synergistic with no lessing. Of course, he's going to work in a lot of the scan builds that are happening now. So, it's possible that through passive actions, you can get pretty much every single token next to your ship. Pretty close. So, 32 to 33, you got Erin Hansen. She can only be equipped to an Aerie Class ship. Cost of 2. Again, Federation faction, not Independence. Activation phase. Target an opposing ship within range that has a captain skill of 5 or greater. Range 1. If the ship activates after the target ship, you may execute an additional maneuver on the ship's maneuver dial. If the target ship is a Borg ship or has a Borg captain equipped to it, place 1 time token on an upgrade equipped to that ship. So again, playing homage to the Hansen studying the Borg. She is going to be very synergistic and work very well with Magnus, especially if Magnus is going to target those higher skilled ships. So that's nice. So Magnus targets a higher skilled ship, and then Erin Hansen will allow you to move again. Cool. Or no. Nope, I'm sorry, I read that wrong. After this ship, if this ship activates after the target ship. No, yep, never mind. Sorry, train got derailed. Yep, that is right. So Magnus Hansen will target a ship and then move after that ship because he's higher, which Erin Hansen then will get it activated. So, yep. Train got derailed in my brain there for a second, but we're back on track. So, moving from 33 to 35. We got Tal Celes. Free action, place 3 time tokens on this card. Perform a scan action as a free action. And we've got the lower decks key phrase. Federation Bajoran 1-point card. Now we're getting into another good episode of Voyager, The Good Shepherd. That is the one where Janeway goes down to the lower decks, meets some of the crew, decides to take them out on a joyride in the Delta Flyer. Things happen. And they have to, save the day. So, nice to see her. Got the lower decks keyword. So 35 to 36, we got William Telfer. He was the hypochondriac. Whenever you would place 3 or more time tokens on a Federation crew upgrade, you may place those time tokens on this card instead. Lower decks. So, again, playing into his hypochondrianism. It's like, well, wait, if you got that, then maybe that's happening to me. So give me those time tokens. Again, very thematic. 1-point card, not bad. I really like that. He could see some use in some builds that I have. We'll have to see if we can get him in there. So moving from 36 to 37, you got Mortimer Harren. So he is the guy that was in the nacelle pylon, working on his big paper. Didn't really want to be on Voyager, but was there because he had to be. Combat phase, spend a scan token from beside the ship and target another ship within range 1 to 2. Remove a battle station, scan, evade, or aux power token from beside the target ship. Lower decks keyword. Again, it doesn't state that you can't target a friendly ship or an enemy ship. It just says target another ship. So there's another way to remove some auxes. For 1 point, that's pretty good. So 37 to 38, Timothy Lang. Increase the captain skill of this captain equipped by 1. Night Shift. Action. Target an opposing ship within range. Disable 1 crew upgrade equipped to the target ship. Lower decks keyword. Okay, so we need to talk about the Night Shift. So, Night Shift is a new keyword, and it's a new mechanic that's coming in Lost in the Delta Quadrant, and it has to do with the initiative tokens. So, at the start of the game, we all know that you roll the dice to see who starts with the initiative token, and that token gets passed, to the left technically. If there's more than one player or more than 2 players, you pass the token to the left. But if you play in 2 players, the token just gets passed back and forth between you. And the initiative token is designed to break, those tiebreakers of I've got 2 skill 5s, who's moving first, type thing. Night Shift. There is a card that allows you. Well, that's coffee. So, Night Shift. Night Shift means that when you do not have the initiative token, you can do this. So, Timothy Lang only works when you do not have the initiative token. So, when you don't have the initiative token, that's known as the Night Shift. So, Jenkins. Card 39. So, we moved from card 38 to 39. So, Jenkins. Reveal dial step. Place 2 time tokens on this card. This ship may increase the speed of the revealed maneuver by 1. The color of that maneuver is the same as the revealed maneuver. And then the second ability is Night Shift. So when you do not have the initiative token, check for power strain step. If the ship executed a non-red maneuver, remove an aux power token from beside your ship, and again, lower decks. So, really, really cool. I like all these new mechanics that are coming out and these new ideas. To kind of freshen up the game. So while Attack Wing doesn't have an official 2.0, it definitely feels like they're coming back and introducing some of these new things. And I'm pretty excited for that, to try and get them on the board to try them out. So we go from 39 to 40. You got Balada Torres. Federation Klingon crew, 3 points. In phase, disable this card. Remove 1 time token from each tech upgrade equipped to this ship. At any time, once per game, discard a tech upgrade equipped to this ship. Repair a number of hull or shields on this ship equal to half of the printed SP of the discarded tech upgrade, rounded up. First thought is Year of Hell Voyager. Definitely. Especially if you put just a random expensive tech on there that you then discount, and it uses its printed, so even though it's discounted, you got the printed. So that's one quick way to get the Year of Hell Voyager back up to speed. So moving from 40 to 41, Miss Kess gets her first appearance in the game. She is Federation Independent, 2 points crew. Activation phase. Place 3 time tokens on this card and target any ship in play. Notice there's no range restriction here. So she's reaching out beyond range, like with her psychotic, her psych abilities. Look at the target ship's maneuver dial and trigger the following ability based on the faction of the target ship. So I think you're able to do this for any ship, not just the ones listed. The first part, you can look at their dial. She can use her psych abilities to see what you're doing. But if you are one of these factions, then you also do this. So Kazon, place a battle stations token besides this ship. Species 8472, you may execute a 1 bank, 1 straight, or 1 right bank white maneuver. Mirror, which in the video that Steven said was really aimed towards Krenim, you place an invade token besides this ship. So nice to see Kess in the game. So we are moving from card 41 to card 48. So again, another large gap in there, but we'll save that for the end. We've got our first weapon of the pack, Gravimetric Torpedoes. It is a 6 dice attack, can be fired from your forward or rear firing arc, and has to be equipped to a ship with a hull of 4 or greater. Attack. Spend this ship's target lock token and discard this card, and attack an opposing ship. Place an aux power token besides the target ship and each ship within range 1 of the target. So range 2 to 3. That's pretty cool. So this torpedo hits pretty hard, and it hits everyone pretty hard. Now this is interesting. This is you don't see very many of these weapon upgrades that come with an action that you can do in the activation phase. So action: target a non-planet obstacle or a minefield obstacle within range and remove this card from the game. Deal 1 hit to each ship within range 1 of the obstacle, then remove the obstacle from play. Okay, so this card here, I believe, is going to be one of the only cards in the game that can remove a minefield token itself. It doesn't call out specifically a cloaked minefield. It states minefield obstacle, which means bird around pulse trap is what I'm thinking. Now, I think there might be one other card in the game that can do this. Yes, Coronus from the Cardassian Union pack. So she can target specifically a minefield token. So this is a Federation version to get rid of that Verteron pulse trap. Again, great awareness to see what the meta is looking like and to kind of give us some kind of counter. So 48 to number 49, we got Photonic Missles. Again, 1 per ship, 4 dice attack, front or rear arcs, can only be equipped to a Delta Flyer class. Attack, place 2 time tokens on this card and target an opposing ship within range 1 to 2. Declare target step, destroy 1 active shield on the defending ship. And the deal damage step is if the defending ship has no active shields, place 1 aux power token beside it. Okay. So there's definitely something we have to talk about here with this card. And it's a part of the game that not many people realize, but it does exist. It's in the game. It's very situational. But notice that the declare target step and then the deal damage step doesn't state that you have to have a hit. That's very important. So let me line up a scenario for you. You and your opponent are flying around a planet. Now, you are obstructed by the planet, but you guys are inside range 2. You choose to use Photonic Missles and you target him. Your attack is obviously obstructed by the planet. However, you are in the declare target step. You can target him, which means that you can reach through the planet and do this top part. You can destroy the active shield. Now, if your opponent doesn't have any active shields, or if you destroy the last shield on your opponent, right, you go declare target step, you go to roll attack dice, modify attack dice, you go through all those steps, and then the deal damage step is last, right? So say you destroy that 1 shield in the declare target step. You go through all the other steps because you can't attack, you can't roll any dice because it's obstructed. So you still get to the deal damage step, which there's no damage being dealt. But now, hold on, this ship doesn't have a shield. So the second part also gets into play, and you place an aux power token next to that ship. So you're able to reach through the planet and kind of do that. Another good example of that is Ferengi Photon Torpedoes, where you don't have to hit the ship. You can reach beyond the planet and give them an aux power token. So Photonic Missles is definitely in that same vein. Just something to think about. So, card 49 goes into card 51. So there is another weapon that we did not get to see. This is a 1 per ship. Can be only equipped to a Federation ship. Multi-adaptive shields. Increase this ship's shield value by 1 when defending. If this ship has any active shields, roll +1 defense dice, and the ship must roll its full defense against minefield obstacles and opposing ships with scan tokens beside them. So this gives you a little bit more defense, allows you to roll your full defense against minefields and scans. Nice. So 51 moves into card 53. So there's another tech that we still didn't get to see. We got 1 per ship, Intrepid class only. Variable geometry pylons. Cost of 2. Reveal dial step. Place 2 time tokens on this card. You may increase or decrease the speed of your revealed maneuver by 1. Treat this maneuver as the same color as the revealed maneuver. So, you know how the Intrepid dial doesn't have a forward 1? With this card, now you do. You have to pay 2 time tokens for it, but you can slow your ship down. You don't have to go as fast. Same thing with, say, I don't think the Voyager has a bank 4. Where is my... Yeah, so the Voyager doesn't have a bank 4. The highest it's got is a bank 3. So now you can increase that by 1, and now you got yourself a banking 4 Voyager. Same thing with turns. It's got a turn 2. You can turn that down to a turn 1. So there's a lot of options that can be done with this, and it's a pretty cheap card, and I really like that. So, moving from 53 to card number 55. So again, there's another card in there that we didn't get to see. We got 1 per ship, Nova class only, cost of 3, tech, rechargeable shield emitters. Increase this ship's shield value by 1. Action, place an aux power token beside the ship and repair up to 2 shields on this ship. Again, playing kind of homage to the original Equinox where you got to repair your shields. Not too much to say here. I like it. It's very thematic. Let's move to the next card. So we're moving from 55 to 56, which here is our beverage for the pack. Coffee, black. It is 1 point question mark. Can only be equipped to a Federation captain, 1 per ship. This upgrade may be equipped to a ship without requiring an upgrade slot. So night shift. Again, remember, night shift is when you do not have the initiative token. Planning phase. Place 2 time tokens on this card. Either place a scan token besides this ship or remove an aux power token from besides this ship. So, nice. Placing tokens, getting rid of the aux. At any time, if you have the initiative token, discard this card and pass the initiative token to your opponent. Or to your left if you got more than 2. So, essentially, this card, if you've got a night shift build going on and you don't want that initiative token, just shuffle it on. Just say, no thank you. I'll just keep this over here. Again, one of these new mechanics, one of these things that nobody really thought of trying to do in this game, and here it is. It just goes to show that they are trying new things, and I know that the development process seems to be taking so long, but these new mechanics actually seem to be pretty thought out and well tested. So I'm happy to see that, and I really hope this is meaning good things for us in the future. So we move from 56 to 59. We get our first ambassador, and he is first time in the game, I should say. Federation, independent, cost of 3. Mr. Neelix, welcome to Attack Wing. Negotiations accepted. For the rest of the game, if the ship moves within range 1 of the target ship, or the target ship moves within range 1 of this ship, place either a battle station or an evade token besides the ship that moved. So, kind of, tit for tat, helping the other ship if they move in, helping your ship if you moved in. Negotiations denied. This ship gains the following ability. End phase. Select either a battle station, evade, or a scan token besides this ship. That token does not get removed this end phase. So, we've seen these kind of cards before with like T'Pau. So, if you maybe get T'Pau, get Neelix on the same thing, if your opponent denies the negotiations, now you're keeping a bunch of tokens going into the next phase. So, that's kind of neat. So, that is the last revealed card that we got in the set here. So thank you everyone for watching. If you don't want to stick around for the rest, the next section here I'm going to talk about the campaign and kind of show off kind of my notes on that. So give me 1 second. I'm just going to put this over here. Alright. Oh yes, let's discuss the new action rules. So there are cards in these 3 packs that give these new actions to your action bar. So we need to discuss them real quick because this was kind of a bonus thing that happened. So, new action rules. Transport and tractor beam. This card explains the rules for the new action bar actions listed granted from upgrades such as the transport action and the tractor beam tractor action. Transport action. Target this ship and another friendly ship within range 1 to 2. Each ship must disable 2 active shields if they have more than 2 active shields. Otherwise, this ship disables all of its remaining shields. Either redeploy a crew upgrade from one ship to another, or swap a crew upgrade from each ship. So, in order to do a transport action, you only have to disable 2 shields. That's really nice. Or, if you don't have 2 shields, you disable all of your shields. I really like that update from you have to disable all of your shields because then you don't get them back. So that's really nice. And then, of course, you can move a crew over to the ship if they have a slot open. If they do not have a slot open, they cannot move. Or you could do a 1-for-1 swap. So you can move crew from one ship to another. The tractor action. Target a ship with a printed hull value equal to let me start over. Target a ship with a printed hull value equal to or less than this ship's within range 1. Place the Speed 1 maneuver template with its long side next to any side of the target's base, and then place the target ship on the other side of the template so that it does not overlap any ships or obstacles. So there's a video on Facebook of Steven doing these actions. The tractor action is kind of neat. I really like seeing that. It's basically a small center echo action for those ships that don't get center echoes. But you can do it on any side of the base. So I have a base right here. So here's a base, right? So what they are saying is, I don't think I got a range 1 template over here anywhere. That's okay. I'll just use my range ruler that I got. So what they're saying is let's pretend this is the 1 movement, right? You take the base, you put the 1 movement template next to the base, and then from there you can take this ship, move him, and go to the other side. Or take the 1 maneuver, put it in front of the ship, take the ship off, move it to the front. Or put it on this side, move it over here. Or put it on the back, move your ship back. So there's a lot of options you can do with the tractor action, and that's kind of cool. I really like that they're opening the game up to those things. Okay, so now we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of the campaign. So I'm going to bring my spreadsheet back over here. We're actually going to scroll over, and we're going to look at my campaign notes that I took here. So they've been hinted at these campaigns for a little bit now. The campaign, you get a campaign booklet in the Lost in the Delta Quadrant pack and the Adversaries of the Delta Quadrant pack. So I know a lot of people were kind of on the fence. They wanted to buy one or the other, or they're like, I don't really want the Federation side. They both come with a campaign booklet, and they are self-contained, so you don't have to have both boxes, but they also complement each other. So the campaigns are complete for each box, but complement each other by adding new things called sector conditions, planets, and other things you have to do. And this is much more than just a 1v1 campaign. This is not a head-to-head campaign. The campaign is based on Voyager's trip home from the Delta Quadrant. And it's set up that way. There are missions in there. From my understanding, there are missions in there that are beyond 1 versus 1. Right? So it's not, I gotta joust, I gotta beat this guy 100 times to get home. No, it's you've got an objective to try and complete. So I'm looking forward to getting this campaign on the table. Now, one of the other things that they're introducing to this campaign is this on-duty, off-duty roster mechanic. So I'm going to bring back the image here, and I know it's pretty small. It's going to get blurry when I zoom in here, but I'm going to do my best to read it for you. Alright, and plus I'm going to be in the way, so don't mind me. So, Starship on-duty, off-duty roster. The Federation player starts the campaign with a single Federation ship, such as the iconic U.S.S. Voyager, and has a roster that includes on-duty cards and off-duty cards for the ship. The Federation player may construct an auxiliary ship, such as a Delta Flyer, as a mission objective during the campaign by playing the Recovered Technology mission. Such an auxiliary ship is a persistent reward, albeit one that is destructible, replaceable, and upgradable, which uses its own roster. A starship roster may have the following: 0 to 1 admirals, 0 to 1 ambassadors, 0 to 1 starship construction cards, 1 to 2 captains, 0 to 2 elite talent upgrades. The remaining upgrades, depending on the size of your ship, and the remaining upgrades depends on the size of your ship and is determined by multiplying your printed hull value by your total number of printed upgrade slots. For example, the U.S.S. Voyager, with a hull value of 4 and 5 upgrade slots, 1 tech, 1 weapon, and 3 crew, has a total of 20 upgrades for your roster, which can include tech, weapon, crew, questions, and Borg upgrades. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So this mechanic is going to be super, super cool. It's my understanding that when you go into a mission, you set your roster. That's your on-duty people. When you go into the next mission, you can change them out, and then that's your on-duty. So the ones that you move from on-duty to the other roster are now considered off-duty. Just the amount of cards that you can have, crazy. So I think you get a total of 20 upgrades. And I think that includes the list over there. So that will need more clarification on. But again, pretty exciting stuff. So in the campaign booklet, they have something called a Delta Master, which I take that to mean is more like a game master. But the Delta Master is the adversarial player, and what they are attempting to do is create a challenge for you to get home. Again, it's more than just a one player versus one player game. It's not a joust, it's not a fight. They can make objectives achievable for you, and from my understanding, you earn things called light year rewards, and light year rewards are the points that you need to get home. So that's kind of cool. Then we got new deployment maps. So much like an Alliance where it shows you how to deploy, it's got a bunch of generic random deployment maps, and either the Delta Master can pick one or they can roll for one. So they can really set it up as a random thing. Same thing with like new objectives for you to do. Again, they can pick or they could roll for it. So one of the things like Steven had mentioned was a distress call. So a distress call is a type of mission that you can run, and what that does is, I mean, it's the objective that the Federation ship has to go to. You have to respond to the distress call. Now there were different types. You had a planet distress call and a ship distress call. So you could roll for a deployment map showing where, well, the Federation player has to deploy in this corner, adversarial players in this corner, and you got to go and do this. But so really cool. Again, new objectives. The Transstellar Rally was one of the ones that was kind of spoiled in the talk about. So there's going to be a race in the campaign. So again, sector conditions are based on different types of space. From what I understand, sector conditions have keywords and things that change sector space. So in my mind, it's thinking like the Mutara Nebula or the Briar Patch or the Bassin Rift. Some of those mission cards that we already have that kind of change the space conditions. And some of the ones that he kind of named was Chaotic Space, Devore Space, Kratom Space, the Necrit Expanse, just your standard open space, Swarm Space, Telepathic Picture Plants, the Void, Pocket Space, the Void Region. Um, Adversaries of the Delta Quadrant have a bunch more of these, so that's interesting. We got new planets such as the Nikaran homeworld, the Atron's homeworld, Quora, the Silver Blood Planet, Takarian homeworld, and more. Only a couple of missions cross over between the two booklets, and most of them are unique. So you can play, you don't have to get both packs, but if you do get both packs, you can combine your booklets into one big structured campaign. There's going to be new things for disabled ships. There's going to be new action for diplomacy and new construct action. We got new resource tokens and star chart tokens that help you in missions. And of course, like I alluded to earlier, you got the light year rewards to get us home faster. So that is pretty much what we know about the campaign. Pretty excited for that. I'm probably going to do a series on my channel. I will have to find somebody to kind of be the adversarial, the Delta Master, if you will. But I think we'll probably do a full campaign with both booklets and kind of play that. And then, we'll probably start out with Voyager and then we'll move to Equinox, maybe Aerie. We'll see. All right. So, moving into the speculation phase. So, if you don't want to speculate any further, or you don't want anything else to be spoiled, right here is your point to click off the video. I appreciate you for being with me for this long, but let's break this down. Let's get into some speculation here. So, let's get my spreadsheet back over. So, all right. We're going to start off with the ships, which we know we're getting. We know we're getting 16 ships. 8 named. Well, no, we got more than 8 named. We're getting 16 ships. So we've seen the Voyager. So I got confirmed that, or it was confirmed for me that there are only 3 Voyagers in the pack. So this one's going to be a generic. But then we've got the Intrepid class here. And some are saying, whoa, how did you get that already? Well, we got the base plates here. So these were shown off. And right here, we've got the U.S.S. Intrepid NCC 74600. So we've got another ship coming with a registry number to distinguish itself from the Constitution Intrepid class. And then, of course, on the backside of that's going to be your generic. Then down here, again, we got the U.S.S. Nova. So if we go back to this base plate, it's not on this one, but on this one here, up here in the corner, we've got the U.S.S. Nova. So, Nova class. Let's do this. Oh yeah, that'll work. Okay. Oh, but I'm in the way. Here's what we'll do. We'll make me smaller. Shrink me down. There we go. Okay. So, Nova class, we got that. Now we know the U.S.S. Raven, the Aerie Class. We already knew about the Delta Flyer. We did not know about the Delta Flyer 2 until we saw this down here, right above me. Delta Flyer 2. So, if we're getting the Delta Flyer 2, then we're getting another generic Delta Flyer. Hooray! Okay. So, moving on to the captains. So, interestingly enough, number 17 was Rudolph Ransom. They didn't go right into Janeway, and that's okay. So, we already know that we got Rudolph Ransom. I'm trying to remember what his skill value was. Let's go back. I think it was a 7. 5. Rudolph Ransom is a 5. So let's do this. Captain skill 5. Right? Magnus Hansen was skill 2. This is just so that we can look at these templates. Paris was a 4. Now, the reason why I know that there's a Paris and a Harry Kim is because Steven showed the card art for them, but he did not spoil the cards. So we do know that this Tom Paris here and the Harry Kim captain from that we already know from the WizKids site, which I didn't really go over because we don't see the full text of the card, but we can see the number on it. So right there, and he's got the night shift token. He's a captain, skill 3, coming in at 23, or card number 23. And of course, we got Astrometrics Lab over here, which is card 54, which I think I have on the spreadsheet. So we know that Harry Kim is captain skill 3. We fix Paris, captain skill 4. Okay. So let's go back to the templates, or the cardboard. So we know a couple things. Magnus Hansen's right here, so we got him. We've got a 9, and this looks like Catherine Janeway, so I'm confident in saying that that's Captain Janeway. Oh, yeah, let's, hold on, we need to do this. So we're getting 8 captains. So 8 captains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I think 8's going to be right here. So right here is going to be kind of our split. Oops. So I think that's where our split's going to be. So that makes this right here a captain. I think 25 will probably be a captain. Okay, so it looks like we're getting Catherine Janeway. It looks like she's coming in at skill 9. That is a 9. I believe that's Catherine Janeway. Here's the Doctor. This is skill 8. Captain skill 8. So let me go over, let me grab my yellow speculation. And boom. Alright. So 5, this is going to be Rudolph Ransom. So he's knocked out. Here's Harry Kim at a 3. Here's a 7. And I'm almost willing to say that that's going to be Chakotay. So I think we're going to get Captain Chakotay. I don't think we'll get a crew Chakotay. Mainly because on the next picture of the board here, we got Tom Paris, and then that's Tuvok. So we know Tuvok's going to be a captain. So I think we're going to get one of these again. So we're going to get Tuvok at a skill 6. And then I think we're going to get a crew Tuvok. Just based off of this right here, where it's Captain Crew, Captain Crew. So I think we're going to get a crew Tuvok right there. So we'll go ahead and mark this. Now, it's also very possible that we will get a crew Doctor. Again, not spoiled on that one. So I'm willing to bet that we'll get a backside of the Doctor who's a captain. So that solves the captains for us. I think going into the crew, we can probably figure these out too. There's one Equinox crew member that I think is missing, and that's Marla Gilmore. So I think it's safe to say that she's coming. Now, we do get Erin Hansen. This one's probably a little bit of a wild card, but we could be getting an Annika Hansen. Just to kind of flesh out the Hansens. Let's see, we've got 21 crew upgrades. So let's count what we've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So I think 45 is where we're going to get the crew. So there's still some room. It's possible. Now we've gone through the Equinox crew. We've got the Aerie Class, the Raven. So we don't really have any more Nova Class crew to go through. We don't have any more Aerie Class crew to go through. They went through the lower decks, which I would consider to be like the Delta Flyer crew. And you kind of got some of these guys from Voyager that were kind of unnamed. You got Milana Torres, got Kess. So we've got most of the main crew shown up here. Yeah, got pretty much all of the main crew shown up. So that leaves some room here for some fun crew. Maybe we'll get a Samantha Wildman. Maybe we'll get a Naomi Wildman. Somebody who will complement Janeway, maybe? So that leaves room for 2 more. There is a Maquis crew. U.S.S. There's a Maquis crew member that's shown up in a lot of... you know what? Let's just do U.S.S. Voyager. He showed up in a lot of episodes. He was kind of there. I think his name was Isaiah or something like that. I don't remember exactly. Just looking for list of crew. Let's go to Maquis. Alright, so Maquis. Really just looking for a list. Okay. So we're not going to get our list. So I'm going to do what any sane person would do. And we'll go to the better one, which is beta memory, or memory beta. Crew manifest. There we go. Okay. Oh, yeah, I mean, I doubt that we'll get... Oh, that's such a good one, too. I don't think we'll get it because we didn't see him very long, but I like it. Looking for this guy's name. Here's another one. Yeah, here's another one. No, definitely not getting the Hazard squad, or the Hazard team. Seska, interesting. Oh, yeah, we could be getting a new Ichab. Okay. I must have missed his name. Oh, Joseph Carey, that's another one. Yeah, I just don't see his name. Man, okay. Let's do Maquis. See if we can find him this way. Get a list of the Maquis. Members. Here we go. There he is. So he is one. But man, we got a bunch of good options here. So Aaron Cavett, the original first officer of the Voyager. So it's possible that he gets pulled in. Got Veronica Stati, the original flight controller for Voyager. Laurie Fitzgerald. If you haven't read or listened to the audiobook of the biography of Captain Janeway, that kind of fills out this character's backstory a little bit more. U.S.S. Albatani is where they served together. Ichab is another option. Bringing him in would be kind of cool. So we don't have very many. not very many options here. I don't think these tokens are going to help us. Yeah, those don't have any crew. There is one crew right there, but I cannot really see who it is. It might be the doctor, actually. Just judging on the shiny head. So we've got 3 options here for crew. You know, they're bringing in these kind of unnamed, or not unnamed, but less named people. So let's... Man, computers just want to go crazy. Okay. So let's say Alia gets his. Yeah, it's also possible that we don't get a Naomi Wildman. It could be Alia, it could be that, it could be Echem, anything really. So we get to 46, which is interesting. Because they give us a Borg upgrade in this as well. So this could be the Borg upgrade slot, which we only get 1 Borg upgrade card, which, I don't know, it could be anything. Maybe it's a Borg alcove. Let's just call it that. Now, the weapon. So, the weapon, I really, really wanted it to be a photonic cannon the minute I saw the Doctor. But I already know that it's not the photonic cannon. And it's not because it got spoiled by Steven or anything. It's from reading the description from WizKids on their site for the pre-order. Because it says it names Gravimetric Torpedoes. Temporal shielding is the one that we got to add. Wait, where is it? Huh. Okay. Put that back over there. Maybe it was the gravimetric torpedoes I was talking about. Maybe I'm getting myself confused and... There was a episode of Voyager where they were testing out a new weapon technology, and Seven accused the guy that was selling them the technology of stealing her nanoprobes. And then the guy... But that weapon that they were testing is the one that I think it is. And I just cannot for the life of me remember what the name of that weapon was. Let me see. An isokinetic cannon. However, that's in the Adversaries side. Kinetic. So that's not where I thought it was. Okay, so that opens things back up. Man. It's going to be the photonic cannon. I talked myself right back into it. I was pretty sure last night that that was not the case. I'm almost sure now. So, alright, we already know we've got the astrometrics lab. We got multi-adaptive shielding. We know from the WizKids listing that we're getting temporal shields. As far as the other tech goes, I cannot really even begin to speculate on what's going on there. Because, yeah, I mean, look, we don't know what all this is. So, can't really do much there. We are getting a construction card. I'm not 100% sure what that's going to be. So I think this is kind of where we leave the speculation off at. I think we got a pretty good idea of what's coming in the pack just based off of this. So again, thank you everybody for watching. Oh. Thank you everyone for watching. I know these videos have been longer and they've been getting a lot of attention, so I really want to thank everybody. Please consider subscribing to the channel if you like this content or you want to see more Attack Wing stuff. I've got more stuff planned. We've got these are the Voyagers are coming back, so we're going to be playing some missions. We got a lot of things planning on doing over at the Discord server. Consider joining us over there for the conversation. And as always, let's continue the conversation in the comment section below. What do you think's coming in this pack? What do you want to see? What are you excited for? How are you going to use these cards? Are you going to play the campaign? I want to know the answer to all these questions. So, again, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, a like to let me know you like this content, and we'll see you next time. We'll see you around the shipyard.